early. You know how to talk to people. You're doing all the things that shoot, I even had to learn like later down the line. So I respect that a lot. So I want to help you in any way I can. And then of course
Thank
just
you, man.
anybody else around. So the respect is mutual, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Evolving Minds podcast. Today we got a very special guest on, Austin Carroll, founder of the AceGrind health and wellness company. Do you want to just explain
Sure.
everything yourself? Like, go ahead. You
I
can
got
take it
you.
off from here.
I got you. First of all, I appreciate you for having me on the podcast. I think it's amazing what you're doing. So definitely very honored to be a part of it. So I guess just an introduction to Ace Grind. It's just a health and wellness company that I started back in 2017, and it's grown from that day to now, and it's still growing. But I'm sure we'll get deeper into kind of the specifics of it. But it's just my passion. It's my business, and what I've been working on since even before I graduated.
Yeah. So now you're going on. This is like the third year anniversary of it, right? You started
Yeah,
2017 May.
it's
That's
crazy,
freaking. It's been going on 3 years, man. That's crazy. I've
man.
known you for about 3 years.
Yeah,
So just when I
it's
was coming
so
up,
it's
you really took off with it.
I
So it's
had no
based off
idea
of
what I was doing just starting it.
yeah. So it's kind of
Yes,
like it's
sir.
kind of based off of fitness, fellowship, fun, and family. Can you
Hmm.
just talk a little bit on that?
Sure. So I guess I just added the last F, which is family. Like when I first had just the vision for it, it was me just sitting in the crib right after, like a day after graduation, just trying to put something like slogan or something together.
Yeah.
And so like the business was founded on fellowship, and what I mean by fellowship is um, working with others. So fellowship, kind of as a Christian, is working, you know, collaborating in kind of that environment. But I mean, fellowship in fitness for me is just doing it with others. And like, I came from a sports background, so I very rarely was working out by myself or playing basketball by myself. Like, it's so much easier to train with other people. And so that's where the fellowship came from. And I guess it really wasn't until that summer that I looked back to see how important that was to me personally. The primary reason that I started my business is one of my best friends. His name's Keaton Mack. He actually died in a car accident back in summer 2017 in July. But before that, every summer after college, me and him will wake up every morning and train, and it would just
Yeah.
be like I wake up and call him on FaceTime, wake him up out the bed. He'd do the same thing, but like I didn't realize how important that was to me in building habits and just getting better as an athlete. Because that's when I'm like, what I'm saying? I'm a basketball player at Eastern, you know that. So I'm trying to grind each summer. I'm trying to get right so I have a good season. But like when you're home in the summer, when you don't have that guidance or have someone to do it with you, it's tough. But
Mhm.
he really, just that, it was one specific summer that really changed my game, and it was that summer after freshman year. So going into sophomore year, we're in the gym like every day. But like looking back on that after graduation, I was like, I wouldn't be anywhere near the player I am, or I wouldn't have got strong. I still would have been a string bean if it wasn't for, what I'm saying, being able to go to the gym with my boy each year.
Yeah.
So it was like, that's what I need. And I feel like other people need that as well. So that's kind of really what jump started the whole business of, let's just bring communities together to reach common, fitness and wellness or athletic goals.
Dude, that's amazing, man. And that's like such a big part of like growing, like just as an
Mhm.
individual. Like sometimes it's hard to conceptualize what we're doing in the present
Yeah,
and where we want to go, and just having that person to be
man,
accountable to, and for that person to also uh, look for accountability from you. That mutual
100%.
that mutual thing, that two-way street goes like such a long way.
Yeah,
And dude, like that's honestly something that I've been, as I'm coming up, just trying to improve upon myself. Not so much like exactly what I'm doing, but just surrounding myself with the people that do have that kind of
yeah,
accountability towards themselves, offering that, what you said, like that kind of fellowship, community atmosphere to push other people in the same way.
100%.
And bro, like to serve others like that you're doing, like with as much passion as you do. Uh, I mean, like as I'm like growing up, I'm kind of like battling the whole faith question. But
Mhm.
dude, like if I were to consider it anything, it's honestly God's work because some
100%.
people, yeah, 100%, because some people just don't uh take that accountability for themselves,
Mhm.
and like they kind of put their own uh like their own well-being and
Mhm.
self-care like to the wayside because of just the chaoticness of life and
Right.
everything.
And
So
like,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but like you hit it right on the head. Like I've been through that same struggle. I grew up in a Christian family. I was a Seventh Day. Well, I am a Seventh Day Adventist. So basically, what it means simply is I go to church on Saturday or worship on Saturday. But like growing up, and when you transition from like the work field to knowing if your job is your calling, because I faith is an important thing to me. So I'm like, is what I'm doing in a line with what I see or what I think, God's plan for my life is. Um, and every time I go back to it, I'm like, how could it not be when the field that I'm in is so genuine? It's all about serving and helping others. And it's just a positive thing. And we're just taking care of our body. So like that kind of gave me the confidence that gave me the reassurance to be confident in what I was doing and continue to grow that business. And then like I don't want to make this a complete like talk about faith type of
Nah.
podcast, but like bro, I won't lie to you. Like when I was questioning whether I should be in a field or something like that, there were so many doors that just were open to me without me searching them. Like just in building AceGrind and building the brand, that it was like, all right, if this ain't what I'm supposed to be doing, like what else am I supposed to be doing? Because like opportunity was just coming to my feet. And it was just like, it was reassuring because I was like, if it's not supposed to be coming to my feet, then I really don't know what to say. It just felt right. Everything was kind of aligning when I understood that, I was confident that I was doing what my purpose was. So I'm just going to speak on that because personally for me, that's been the most amazing part of the process.
Mhm.
I could talk about that forever, but like most recently I talked to one of my boys, and you mentioned just like surrounding yourself with people who have done it or have grown their businesses. And like just the simple fact that I'm on this podcast with you. So one of the people that I look up to that is very into what's it called, like esports and tech and things like that, he's in Atlanta but we grew up together in Maryland. I called him just to get some business advice and some growth advice. And
Yeah,
he gave me probably like 3 or 4 very valuable tips. This was back in, I think, late February or maybe even early March. And one of those tips was find local publicity, try to get on a podcast or someone that you can, spread your mission with or, about, and just create more of a presence.
yeah, yeah.
Literally the next day, one of my friends had a friend that had a podcast in Philadelphia, and he asked me to be on it. And then you reached out to me, and it's like,
Dude,
if this isn't what
networks.
my exactly like, if this isn't where I'm supposed to be right now, I don't know. That's why I was like, of course, I would love to be a part of this. Like when that opportunity knocks, you just got to take it.
That's dude. I roll with the same philosophy.
Yeah,
It's like, dude, if you're coming up in the world and you're trying to really create something, and you see like the opportunities around you that are kind of aligning with your passions, you got to kind of run with them. And the first step
yeah,
with that is kind of like becoming that hometown hero, so to speak, because once you sort of gain a following in your college or your hometown or even in your home state, like from there it's just up, you know what I mean?
yeah, a
Because
hundred
then
percent.
then your community becomes, instead of this like small secular kind of thing, it becomes this sort of like statewide or
Mhm.
countywide or
You realize your
even,
impact is a lot bigger.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally, man, totally. So like, just how do you inspire your clients and others to grow and improve their well-being?
I guess the first and most important thing is understanding that everyone is different and every day is different for those clients, and everyone's fitness goals are different. And
Mhm.
I changed, like when I first started the business in 2017, it was fitness and wellness. I was an athlete. I only wanted to train athletes. I wanted to be the next sports performance coach. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to know, the coolest, the most latest techniques to make you the best, most elite athlete. Like that's who I wanted to be. And over this course of 3 years, I've had a bunch of different jobs, from being strictly personal training to corporate fitness. Now I'm heavy into the wellness side. But what I've learned through that is like, achieving a healthier lifestyle is the ultimate goal for a lot of these clients. Most of the time, as a personal trainer, you're not going to get only the athlete client, but you have an opportunity to make more of an impact in that person that needs it, probably a little more than working with the athlete who has coaches and trainers and friends and people like that. So I guess, meeting those clients that just need, the personal training session or the training session as an outlet in their day, an outlet for self-care, understanding that, you might not achieve that goal today, but me taking time to realize what they need in that moment is, I guess, the step towards inspiring them, having them have it feel more like a
Learning
friend, or
process.
exactly like, this is your long-term goal, but today you just worked 8 hours. You got kids at home stressing you out. You got, family members going through things. So today we just need to focus on this to make sure your mind state is right so that we can crush it the next day.
Yeah.
It's just treating people like people to keep them engaged in their goal going forward. It doesn't mean that because we didn't do, an intense workout today, we can't do that tomorrow. It's what do you need in this moment? So just treating each individual as an individual, taking time to understand how they're motivated is the easiest way for me to kind of inspire them, I guess.
Yeah. And bro, that hits the nail on the head too, like when just talking about happiness, because uh two of the immediate things that bring happiness to people's lives usually are investing into other people
Mm,
and investing into yourself,
yeah,
because as much as you put into yourself and other people, you're gonna get out of those relationships, and you're gonna feel better about yourself the more you invest in yourself.
yeah, 100%.
And dude, even through exercise and everything, just like you said, working 8 hours a day and then logging on with you on like an online class for 30 minutes, that it takes some sort of resiliency and dedication to
Yes.
put that extra time in,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just an amazing thing to teach it
Yeah.
like you do through fitness. It's one of like the things that I even preach in my own life, because I feel like as hard as I can push through a workout, that's how hard I can push through
Yeah.
different adversities through life.
For
I
sure.
got a quote actually. I want you to think about maybe and respond on maybe.
Okay.
It's from Buddha, I think, actually said, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, he says, when the student is ready, the teacher arrives.
Mm,
So how do you take into account that, like, that key concept? Maybe somebody is approaching, maybe because they don't have maybe the best habits, or
right.
they're very used to having immediate
Yeah.
gratification in life, or how do you account for that key concept?
I like that quote a lot, because immediately I think I can respond from two different perspectives. Um, with being the teacher and working with someone else, I think that being ready kind of equates to a self-evaluation or self-realization. Like, if you're looking for immediate gratification, or, I'm a basketball coach as well. So I'll use that as an example. You're an athlete. Like when you're trying to communicate with an athlete, um, what their actual goal is and what they think is keeping them from that goal. Um, Once they can understand the steps, or be humble enough to look within and figure out, instead of worrying about what everyone else is doing to keep you from that goal, or what the coach is doing, or what the circumstances are doing, and then you focus on what you can actually improve, then the
Yeah.
coach can help you on those parts of your game that you want to improve to achieve that goal. So basically, being able to look within and figure out what it is you actually need, um, that's how you'll be able to be ready, and then you can actually take, being taught, I guess. But I think the more interesting perspective is for me personally, because you learn lessons through your walk of life, but it's easy to ignore signs too in your daily walks of life. Like I've learned lessons over these last 3 years, but probably could have learned them sooner if I would just take the signs and really look within for certain things.
Yeah.
So a heavy topic that I'm on right now is just like self-care and taking care of yourself. I've been in so many job situations or just phases in my life where it's like I feel like I'm taking care of myself. I feel like I'm giving myself enough time, but I'm really not. And then I ended up reaping those,
Yeah.
consequences in kind of a negative way. And until I really sit down and slow down and be like, yo, Austin, you ain't doing enough for yourself to really guard your mental state. Um, Once I was able to realize that, then I was able to figure out where I needed to make change. So I hope that wasn't too confusing, but I like that
No,
quote.
that's a great way to put it. And that kind of goes back it kind of goes to like this topic of like kind of behavior and like delayed gratification
Mm,
and immediate gratification. Like, working out immediately, it kind of
yeah,
sucks. Like you gotta,
100%.
it's sweat, sometimes blood. Like you never know. And you wake up in the morning, you feel sore, and you look in the mirror, you don't look any
Yeah.
different. It takes two weeks, a month, maybe even to start seeing the results.
Oh yeah.
It's much easier for immediate gratification to take over.
Hmm.
You eat a donut, you go sit on the couch, you
You
watch some
feel
TV. It's a great
you
time.
feeling good. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
feeling real good about yourself.
Now that's
But
why I respect the fitness industry so much, is because it's like you gotta look for different sources of gratification through that process, because you ain't gonna lose them 5 pounds
yeah,
today. But it's like, in this workout, what did you do better than your last workout? If it's day one, you started. You feel me? Like
yeah,
you did better than not, sitting on the couch and eating that donut. So it's like, as a trainer, being able to figure out those areas and through a training session and communicate that to your client or whoever you're working with, that's another way, going back
mm,
to your other question on how to inspire. It's like, today it just might be the win from our workout is, shoot, you were able to touch your toes when we were stretching. Like, as a as when you're trying to inspire people, you gotta
yeah,
seek out those little pieces of
yeah.
positivity. um,
Like a week ago, you couldn't touch your toes. Now you can.
yeah,
Like this is just it's baby steps,
yeah, you
and
gotta
it's
take
that.
something to keep going,
Yeah,
keep
it's that
build off of.
compounding. It's that compounding effect
Yeah,
too. It's like you got to be able to take those small wins and feed those and have those as the fuel for the
facts.
next step going forward.
Facts. It's
And
all
bro,
your
like
perspective.
and like another tough like a tough subject is even like mental health and addiction and stuff like that. And it's so
Hmm.
easy to get that immediate gratification from like going out, having a few beers,
Right.
grabbing a bottle, even doing drugs or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And like it turns into this snowball effect where it's that immediate gratification and that addiction that kind of just keeps on making people spiral down these
Exactly.
holes of these bad habits basically. And dude, it's such a tough thing. And I think fitness is a huge part to really like meld the gap between
Yeah.
being conscious of your decisions and really attacking like your goals at the same time.
For sure. It's like there's so many things, like you just hit it on the head too, like dealing with a lot of those conditions. A lot of times for people, fitness is an outlet. And then
Yeah,
even more specifically than fitness, like the community, the people they're in the gym with, the people they talk to in the gym or at those events. I feel like that community aspect is so much bigger than the actual workout
totally, man.
itself. And that's what it's about. Like, it's just about creating that community that
Bringing people
is
up.
right. It's welcoming to people from all facets of life, from all situations,
Yeah,
whether you trying to be the next best athlete or you just need somebody to vent to. You need somebody to push you through this workout. That's all it's about. It's like just creating a healthy community.
seriously.
Yeah.
And that's another thing kind of like fascinates me. Uh how it takes some people like that sort of like New Year's resolution to sort of like get the gears turning.
Yeah.
I mean, like we were just talking, like fitness is a great way to kind of like start like just first step wise to start like
Mhm.
changing your life a little bit. And man, like even for myself, coming up through college, I was going through some rough times and stuff. And bro, like the thing that I really focused on was just like my physical well-being.
Yeah.
And I noticed that the more that I concentrate on my physical well-being, the happier I was mentally, and the more invested I was to helping others. And even just in my other relationships, I
Mhm.
was just more invested, telling them to
Yeah.
come to the gym with me. Yo, you want to just link up and talk about
Mhm.
different, you know what I mean? What do you think about people waiting till New Year's? Like
Um,
what's with that?
so I think it's just that, and that also goes back into the community. People don't know where to start. Starting is the most overwhelming part of a fitness journey, in
Seriously.
my opinion. I last year, before my current job, I worked at Philadelphia Sports Clubs, and I was just a personal trainer. Like that was my job. So of course, I saw the New Year's rush. I see what it is. You talk to a million different clients, and all their stories are the same. It's like they know what they need to do, they know they need to be healthy, but it's really just about getting started. So just the trend of starting everything on New Year's, having that being a starting point is why people do it, but they don't stick with it because one, they don't have a good accountability system, whether
Yeah,
it's
we're
a
talking.
trainer, yeah, whether it's a trainer or a friend or anything like that. And then two, workouts can get stale. They might not have they don't know what to do. You feel me? So
Yeah,
I feel like people do that just because it is the norm, but it's not sustainable because unless they're connected like really to what their goals are, and then they have that guidance or accountability system to keep them on it, it's so much easier to stop than it is to keep going. So
yeah,
if there ain't anything keeping you in it, then boom, like it's gonna be easy to
seriously.
stop. But now I do want to hit on something you just said a quick second ago
What's
that
up?
like hits with me personally because it's like I feel like it's the most important thing I learned over this year. You just said you were coming up through college and you had some rough times and you were in the gym and you were just focusing on your physical and mental well-being, and you understood that when you were in the gym focusing on that, you felt better, you started getting other people. And I feel like one of the most important things is being able to make the connection between I'm in the gym and I feel better. So you were able to be self-aware. This is my whole retox thing that I don't know if you've ever seen me post before, but it's like being able to be emotionally intelligent enough to understand where you get positive energy from is your first step towards self-care.
Hmm.
You knew that, okay, I feel better while I'm working out. This is a healthy habit for me. Maybe I should keep doing it. Maybe I should
Yeah,
keep other people to it. But what I'm getting at is like, if you feel better taking a walk, if you feel better when you're reading a book, if you feel better when you're taking a nap, be able to put those two and two together that, all right, this is refreshing for me. This helps me
hmm,
restore my positive energy. This helps me guard my mind state. So now I need to emphasize that in my daily routine. For me, that year when I worked at personal training, that's when I was like burning my candlestick on two ends. Like, bro, I was a coach, a grad student, a personal trainer, and running this business. And like, I have no free time. So napping was my gym time for you. I like people joke about it, but like dog, like I'd be in the car in Eastern's parking lot and
seriously.
take a 10-minute nap before I worked with the client. And that made all the difference. Like if I ain't take that nap, then I was not gonna be into that training session. We weren't gonna get anything out of it. But like that little quick car nap was my detox that year. But like
Yeah,
that was huge. So I just want to hit on like for anyone listening,
yeah,
you got to
definitely.
figure out what that is in your life. What's that healthy coping or detox in your life that gets your positive energy? And for me and you as well, I think fitness and that community is that.
Totally, bro. Yo,
So
personally for me, like what you said, like that just reflection and stuff like that, what really got me to like realize that me going to the gym and taking that extra time to
mhm.
focus on myself well-being and stuff like that, where that what that really came from was just basically like just really like self-reflection. Like I kind of,
Yeah.
as I was coming out of high school, man, like I kind of really didn't uh as I looked at myself, I didn't really like the path that I was going down, really.
Okay.
Like, so that was with the things that I was doing outside of school, the energy that I was putting into the things that I actually was passionate about, but I didn't because of uh, like peer opinions
Hmm.
and like social awkward. I guess I don't know
Yeah.
how to put it, but
Nah,
like
I feel you.
just really looking at myself and reflecting on the things that I'm doing, the habits that I have formed so far in life, and taking college as that next step. Like, all right, what habits do I really want to form these next 4 years, and where do I
Yeah.
really want to go? And a lot of that emotional intelligence just starts with reflection, like seeing the things like that you're doing that aren't providing that happiness
Yeah.
or that growth forward, and then reflecting on what I could be doing differently to get the results that I really wanted.
Facts.
And part of that was honestly stop drinking was
Mm-hmm.
one for me. Really focus on my fitness and like my psychology. And after I was coming out of high school, my brother just passed away as I was coming out of high school, so like that was really tough for me growing up and coming into college, even in the midst of all the transition process anyway. So really just taking that extra time, like sometimes I was in the gym freshman, sophomore year for 2.5 hours because
Mm.
I knew if I was anywhere else,
Yeah.
like, dude, I was going to go down those bad habits of me doing something else, man.
Uh,
And just removing myself from that situation was like a huge factor. And
gy-
it all started with that reflection, man. It
the
really
gym
did.
was your meditation, and
It did.
you're right. And like, I want to take this opportunity to speak to guys specifically because I just feel like, well, one, it's natural because obviously I am a guy and you're a guy, but like, no one tells us to do that. You feel
Yeah,
me? Like,
no.
it's not the cool thing to do. Like, especially talking to other dudes about it too. Like, you're not. Yeah, they don't promote self-care,
No.
especially in men. It's just not the norm. Like, we're taught to suppress feelings, we're taught to take care of yourself, to provide. That's just who
Yeah.
we're supposed to be, what society is made. But like, dog, you got to like, you
Yeah,
have
seriously.
to look within in order to keep yourself straight.
It's the most powerful thing when like
Yeah.
you can take that like that time and you have that emotional intelligence to really look within yourself and like, what am I about? What do I
Yeah.
want to be about? And then what am I going to do to get there? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's a whole nother thing about like this whole growth mindset that I've been talking about. And I've been trying to get other people on board with, having you on. I had my
Mm.
friend Oliver on a few days ago. And it's really just like this whole idea about like leveling up in life, physically,
Yeah.
mentally, intellectually, and dude, even spiritually. For me, like that, this is becoming like a big part of it for me. Being around guys like you, going to Eastern,
Hmm.
it's been a bigger question in my life. Personally, for you, like, what do you do in these areas of life to really like level up?
I think exactly what you're doing right now. Well, I'll start with this. You got to talk about your goals to people freely. Once you have identified those, talk to people about what you want to do. Like for me, one of my big goals this year is to become a public speaker. I'm not 100% sure on the topic yet. It's probably going to be emotional intelligence. So little do you know, this is
I like
helping my
that.
personal goal. But like, talk to people freely about it, because one, it's going to help you become more confident in what you want to do, and then you have no idea if that person you're talking to is a resource to help you get there. Most of my business friends, or at least the ones I work with the most now, have been from simple conversation, like working in the gym. Like one of my closest business friends now, his name's Lionel Brody. He helps me out with East Bay and very deep into Villanova, and also has his own athletic club in the area as well. But like, I met him just from talking in the gym, and we're just talking, and I happen to, mention AceGrind, talk about what I'm doing. He mentions what he's doing. I show some videos from my page. Boom, he's helped me more than he probably even knows since then. But it's like that connection just built from a simple conversation. And that's how now he's in my professional circle. That brings me to the next part, is like, you got to figure out who your friends are, and then your professional circle might be a little different than that. You need to have a professional circle, just because you need people that'll understand the way you think. And having that growth mindset isn't common. It's
No.
good to get people right. It's just not like, it's great to empower more people to, join it, but not everyone has it. Not everyone is going to think the way you do. And more importantly, not everyone is going to see the vision in your head. Like, regardless whether someone else thinks it's going to work out or not, you see it. So you see
Exactly.
how it's supposed to work out. So once you understand that, like, you want to surround yourself with more people that at least have the capability to,
Help.
think
Yeah,
exactly.
help think,
Whether
give you
it's,
knowledge.
yeah, like, you get good energy from that. You're going to get more ideas from that. So like, I've just been trying to grow my professional circle and just have people that I can call, and whether they have anything to do with my idea, I know I can run it by them and we'll get something good out of that conversation. That's
Yeah.
been very beneficial for me over the last year.
So seriously, same thing for me. Like I'm I'm probably quite a few steps behind you. You've been doing this whole,
Not at all.
you've been branding AceGrind for the past 3 years, and bro, you built it from scratch basically, and like now, like 3 years later, I mean, personally, I see it's like now it's starting to really become something. You know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
and dude, it's something that I tremendously look up to, and something I'm trying to do myself right here. And like that's exactly what you said. Like having people on the phone, like where you can call, even if it has nothing to do with what you're trying to do,
Yeah.
but they kind of have that mindset of growth and creating
Yeah.
and building, but at the same time, more than welcome to share their knowledge with you.
Right. Like you can't talk to everyone about
No,
everything.
no, you
Yeah.
can't. It's like you gotta pick the right teachers for what you're trying to learn about. You can't be like, listen, even starting this, like I've kind of just started like branching out to guys like you. I'm starting to acquire some mentorship team a little bit on the side. So just like surrounding myself with people that could have the right answers for me.
Yeah.
Instead of going to, like, let's say when I was first starting, I ran the idea by my mom, right?
Yeah.
And my mom sometimes coming from a completely emotional standpoint, like, oh, what if you say the wrong thing online or something?
Yeah.
Like it could root. Like sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes it is about taking risks like that.
Oh yeah.
Like just like kids going to play football in college, like you might get hurt.
Bro, exactly. Not going to the NBA draft this year to do another year in college. Like, bro, there's risk in everything. And that's what I forgot to say. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Cause like, bro, if there's one piece of advice that I could just give you for growing a business is just, you gotta fail. You gotta be more happy to fail than like, bro, if I could tell you how many things didn't work out in the year of 2018, 2019. No, I'm sorry, 2017. Yeah, I guess mainly 2018, 2019. Yeah, that whole year was failure. But like, you know how much I learned that year about myself, about things that'll work. Like, dog, I tried to do a whole men's league. Like I tried to start
I saw
a men's
that
league from
Grimes
scratch.
league
Like, bro, I tried so many different things. And I say failure, but failure is not even the word. Like it just helped me learn and understand that until you try them ideas, if you're waiting and sitting around thinking like, nah, you don't have enough experience to do this yet, or like I might say the wrong thing on a podcast, or like, you know, who am I to be starting a men's league? Like you're never gonna do it. Like, but if you do it and you fail at it, now you know how to do it better. So that was a huge turning point in that year for me. That men's league was the biggest go out of my, like the biggest risk I've taken with AceGrind. And like what happened was like I didn't get enough people to do an actual league, but it turned just into like organized open gym type of thing. So it was still successful, but like that gave me confidence to like try. Like, all right, well, And then that next year, everything I tried worked out. And it was just because I knew how to go about it from the failures from that previous year. And it's like, dog, don't wait on it. Just learn as you're going. Like we're too young. You feel me? Like,
bro, that's like we were talking about before, just like the whole feeling of starting and stuff like that. Like so many people are thinkers and they have these great ideas and stuff like that, but they kind of go over the weight side because one, they might be not confident in it. Right. And two, they really don't know what they're even doing to start. And sometimes to start, that is really just doing, man.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
Even starting this, man, like the podcast, how it really started, it was, I don't know, you know, Jay Crawford, he just graduated.
I think so.
On the baseball team. Yeah. Basically, we had this idea watching Joe Rogan, and we started in the dorm room 6 months ago, and he ended up bailing out or whatever. I don't really know what's going on his end, but after that, like, just that first step of just, dude, let's just set up a camera and start talking. And we'll figure it out from there. And like,
you'll get better from there.
They say, yeah, exactly. They say sometimes, they say success sometimes is like the devil's advocate because nobody learns from success. Everybody learns. The real progress is really in failure and learning from your mistakes. And
100%.
sometimes it's not even trying to learn from other people's mistakes, because making those mistakes yourself is the most powerful thing, man.
You gotta do it.
Yeah, and dude, like this past 8 months that I've been trying to start this up, trying different things, bro, even like seeing what doesn't work and laughing at myself, it makes me grow, man, and I love it.
And if I could look back to my personal training sessions like when I just graduated to now, it's almost embarrassing to look at. You feel me? Like I've
Yo,
just,
same here, man.
bro, like you learn through the process. Like I know so many different like things that you can't learn from the classroom, or you can't learn from studying other people. You only learn it from hands-on,
Like public
in person.
speaking.
Right.
Can't learn public speaking in a classroom.
You can't learn it
Sometimes
without doing it.
you just got to, yeah, even if you
Yeah.
have no knowledge at all, sometimes it
Yeah.
just takes getting up there and doing it,
Just
man. Seriously.
right.
And a
That's
lot of people out there, all it takes, it's not about your confidence level. It's not about this, not about anything else. Sometimes it's about just mustering up the courage and
mhm.
saying, fuck it, realistically, fuck it. Like, what do I have?
Facts.
What do I have to lose, man?
Yeah. Nothing. You
Like
got
right now,
nothing to
yeah,
lose.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right now, for you, for me, like personally for me, I don't really have that much money in the bank.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to invest anything, I'm going to invest my time in myself. And
Bro.
that's exactly what you've done over the years, man.
And that's, bro, I want to talk on that because like that same attitude, when my first ever AceGrind event was a couple weeks after I graduated back in Maryland, where I'm from. I just hopped on Instagram. I was like, yo, I'm doing a free workout at my high school, Arundel. Come out. And luckily I was blessed, and still am blessed to have, my cousin, his name on Instagram, shout him out to, is Free Alexander Media. But my cousin is like extremely talented in videography and creating, and just an extremely artistic guy. So I just had him come out and record this workout. It was free to my friends or anybody that would come around. And like, we just worked out, bro. I'm not proud of the programming in that workout or like how I organized it. Like it was trash if I look back on it, but the
Throw
way
it
it
out
was,
there.
yeah, people were out there, and the way he captured it made the message so much more impactful than what I did in the training. So the moral of that story is almost like fake it till you make it, and be confident in how you present it. Like the workout that we did that day was trash. Like, it got people sweating. I'm just not very proud of it, but the way we, displayed it, presented it, and that image that we tried to put out through AceGrind has been consistent from the start, because it was just high quality videos, me investing into the business, me spending my own personal money, working with my own personal friends and family, just to like keep that consistent. And regardless if I was making any bread off of it or not, it was like, I was faking it till I make it. I'm still faking it till I make it, because I ain't made it yet. You feel me?
Exactly.
Bro, got nothing to lose.
Yo, all we are, we're just nobodies trying to become somebodies. You know what I mean?
Facts.
That's what my boy Oliver said that on the last podcast, and that's really what it boils down to. It's like right now, I'm growing up in the world, and I'm okay with growing up in the world. I still got a lot to learn, but dude, someday, like, I want to be somebody. Seriously, I want to be somebody. I want to have an impact in somebody else, in other people's lives, and that same goes for you.
Yeah,
bro. You're online. You were just saying that you weren't proud of your workouts, bro. You should be proud of these online workouts. That was tough as hell the other day. Not gonna lie, it was tough, man.
Yo, hey, man, I love the online crew, the online workouts. It's been really fun. And like I said, I've grown a lot over just the training, over these training years. Yeah, like from learning different ways on how to, control a class. Virtual is a whole different story. Understanding what to program that'll make sense in a quick 30-minute, routine, how to get the most out of it. And that just all came with practice. That's an area I want to get into more, is more education and like helping people do the same thing, at least from my personal experiences. So like, I love any chance I get to help, a new trainer or anybody interested in the field learn something, because like, you don't learn it without talking to other people and trying it out.
Yeah. So what other services do you guys provide over at AceGrind?
Sure. So, like I said, this year has mainly, obviously everything has taken a quick turn with the pandemic we're in.
Yeah.
But, this year, I'd say wellness coordinating service is what I provide most, and what I'm really aiming to get towards. What I mean by that is I host a lot of wellness events. And if you checked out my social media or the website, one of the biggest things I did in 2019 was the Community Fit Challenge. That was, you came to the second one. You helped me on the second one, but the first one, that was the biggest thing I did. That was April 2019. And then we did the second one in September 2019. So you saw what that was about. It's bringing people
Dude, that
together
was
to do
awesome,
the
man.
challenge. That's one of my most fun events, I feel like. And it was so cool to have y'all there
Totally.
helping
Dude, I
create
gotta
that.
say, I've been to like a bunch of like workout, not really workout classes,
Yeah.
but like workout events and boot camps and stuff like that. Dude, like just the community atmosphere that you've
Mm,
built like during those community events and through the community that you've built online and stuff, like the people that I've never met
yeah.
coming through with like your clients and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Dude, the community that you've built over the years, honestly, I think it's incredible because a lot of these boot camps are just trying to sell you on this whole uh like
Yep.
30 days to healthy living
Yeah.
or six pack in 6 weeks or
And bro, that's why I've gotten out or away from, strictly personal training, or at least personal training
that's what the
outside of
field's
other.
kind of become.
It's sales. Like, yes, there's great personal trainers out there. I've learned a lot, especially from my previous job, from a lot of great trainers and one of my mentors at that job. But like, it's hard when the goal isn't genuine. And so I almost took the goal from personal training out of it, and it was more so let's just work towards something, positive, something healthy, and let's make it fun. And like that
Habits,
community.
lifestyle.
Exactly. Like that community fit challenge is a networking opportunity. It's for you to meet
Yeah.
these people that have never met you before. It's for you to work out with people you haven't met before. Like I've met, even at that event, people that I didn't know I met and have worked with since then. And that's just what it's about. It's continuing to grow that. So like, and I wanted to make it fun. So
Yeah.
that's also like the most important part of it is make it something that people actually feel like they got their money's worth, like they enjoy being a part of. So,
Yeah.
um,
Dude, seriously, like and not only like the feeling that I got being there, like not gonna lie, like I wish I could have helped you on like the other events and stuff like that and helped you with other things
yeah,
because like you are someone that inspires me. But bro, after I went to your community fit challenge, that's what kind of like kicked off
yeah,
like
I
my
love it.
whole dude, I'm not even kidding because I saw you out there like you're up and coming, man. You're seriously up and coming.
I
And I
appreciate it,
honestly, bro,
bro.
I think you're almost there. And dude, like after seeing you run the whole thing and like, dude, it was awesome, bro. And it really just inspired me,
Yeah,
man. Yeah, I got another quote
yeah.
for you. It's from you know the company Alibaba?
I don't.
It's like China's Amazon, basically. It's like
Mm,
the next Amazon on the other side of the world. But basically, Jack Ma, he's the founder of it. He founded it with a few other people. He
mm,
said, it's not about how much we achieve, it's about how much we endure and learn from our mistakes.
mm.
And bro, like that's just going back
Yeah,
to before, like you getting up there to the event that I did to get that confidence and run it to how well you did.
was from the first one.
If it is from the first one, exactly. It's how much you endure. Like you're not
Yeah,
proud of the first thing you put out. I'm not either. The first thing I put
yeah.
out was atrocious, man.
Bro, bro, that's what it is. Like I've literally, after that, I was like, all right, now every time I do a new event, I understand I'm just gonna do it the first time because that's gonna teach me how to do it right. So even growing, just to give you kind of an example of how the community fit challenge changed my mind concept. The first one I learned from, did it, which was great. And then you were a part of the second one, which was great. You feel me? Like that one
Yeah.
was run a lot better. Um, and so after that, I realized, all right, that system works. Maybe I should put out an event in a controlled environment with a select amount of people that, I know will help me see how it runs right and then, perfect it for the second time. So to build off of that, when I started the Retox Avenue, which was September as well, I think right before that Community Fit Challenge, I had the idea to do that I got from my partner from East Bay, who I mentioned before, just from talking to him. But it's like the brunch and the yoga and brunch and just like a fun social, self-care
Yeah.
Sunday type of event. So when I had that idea, I was like, all right, well, I have no idea how to do this. So let's get people that I know won't judge me crazy and that I know will just be happy to be a part of it, come out for like this test run. So we did a test run up here in September.
That's in Maryland,
Um,
right?
no, that's the official one. So the
Oh,
one
okay.
before that was in September, right here in Manayunk at Ryan's Pub. I had, people from Eastern, friends, family, all them come
Yeah.
through, and that was like it taught me how to run it. I lost money that time, but I was
The
able to
learning
see,
process, man.
right. Then when I took that idea to Maryland in November, that's the biggest event I've ever done. Like there were like 50 plus people there. It
Wow,
was in
really?
my hometown, like friends that I hadn't seen in forever, but it was like, I knew how to do it now. I was confident in doing it. And like, I planned that event while being in Pennsylvania, working with like a helpful friend, event planner who's known for forever as well. But like just the simple fact that like I wasn't in Maryland to do it, I
Yeah.
was still confident because I had test run it before. But last thing I want to say on that topic, I know I'm rambling a little bit, but I
No,
can't
go ahead, bro. Don't hold back.
emphasize this point. Like I think the most important part of anything that's helped me be successful is being resourceful. Using your friends, welcoming people into the circle that have like-minded goals or genuinely want to see the brand grow. So people like you came to help out at that community fit challenge, and you helped me tremendously by creating that environment for the people that paid to be there. I mean, it helped you as well, but like,
Totally.
bro, like I need help and I welcome help because I can't do everything. So, my business friends like Ryan or Free Alexander Media, like he's helped me tremendously since the start. Nia is the event planner that helped me in Maryland, like Lionel Brody, and then everyone in between, Marquise Taylor, like all these people that are just genuinely involved in,
Investing in the
wanting to see,
cause.
yeah, I need their help. So be resourceful enough
Yeah.
to see what they're good at, see how it can help you, and it'll help them. So it's a mutual benefit, but the business will just grow, and that just creates more of a genuine community. So
Yeah.
I see that in business owners or people starting something up. It's like you're scared to ask for help because you don't want it to turn into someone else's idea, or you don't want other hands in the pot. There's a way to go about it, knowing and recognizing who genuinely wants to see you grow, and then use those resources because it's going to be mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's honestly this next year, my whole goal is literally just to level up this 2020,
yeah,
man. That's like the first thing. That's like really my first step. Just like you said, being resourceful, but
bro.
also like attracting people that
Mm-hmm.
like also really want to be a part of what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Like, bro, like I saw what you're doing, and I hopped on board instantly. Like, I loved what you're doing. I think it's
it's
incredible.
genuine. It's genuine.
It's genuine. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're a genuine person. You have a genuine goal, and bro, like that's all I'm really trying to do. And
yeah,
I'm not necessarily trying to look for people to work for me or
yeah.
have. I want people to uh, see benefit and value in it
Mm-hmm. And
themselves and for the cause completely.
And that's exactly what I was saying. When I was saying it's genuine, I mean your support was genuine. Like the
Oh,
fact that where you came from to want to help, that's a genuine support. And like along your journey, what you're gonna realize is that there's gonna be people that you've known your whole life that will support you. They might not support you as well, but then there's gonna be someone you meet tomorrow who's gonna come on and genuinely support your idea. And that person may want you to succeed a little bit more than maybe those people you've known your whole life. It's
yeah,
not taking anything away from them, but you got to be able to recognize, like, it doesn't matter how long you've known someone. If they're genuinely supporting you, you got to cherish that and give back to
exactly.
that just as much as they give into you. Because like my circle for AceGrind now, like my inner circle is like there's few people that I've known my whole life, but there's more people that I've just met in the last year or 2 years that are supporting every single thing I do. And it's like you need to recognize that as you're growing in a business so that you can keep that genuine support, making sure you give genuine energy back to those people. So,
Exactly. That's honestly coming up through college and stuff like that. They always say like you kind of don't really distance, but you might like lose connection with some of your old time friends. And bro, like that's really what it's coming down to for me because I'm only going to invest my time into relationships that are genuine and people that are going to genuinely support me.
yeah,
And sometimes people that I've known all my life, I just don't feel that from them. So
yeah,
why am I going to act genuine in that relationship as well?
facts.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And like you said, it's distinguishing and being conscious of
yeah.
the two.
And I think, and that's a good point. Like, I think a big part of, or at least how I try to go about that is like I've had battles with how I want to deal with situations, how I want to like give my energy. But it's like, as long as you understand, as long as you have that emotional intelligence and you can distinguish between genuine support and someone who, is like casually supporting, it's not coming from a harmful place, but like, you just know how much energy to give to what. So it's like, you're not ever putting out too much, but it's not like you're being spiteful towards anyone, or it's not like, nah, you weren't with me from the jump, you can't buy any AceGrind gear. Like, nah, it's never gonna be like that. But it might be like, you know what, you've been buying AceGrind gear since I, was fronting it on my own and making it and with terrible materials and all that. Maybe I'm gonna send you something for free this time because I respect how much you supported me from day one.
Yeah.
So like just being able to figure that out is a good way to see how you want to give your energy to those people, whether they're lifetime friends or new friends.
Dude, what you said about emotional intelligence too, like in the whole field of psychology and mental illness and mental health and everything, that's like, honestly, that is I think the deciding and distinguishing factor.
Oh my goodness.
To actually really helping people, because with something so ambiguous as like your mindset or how you think or view yourself or view the world, a lot of that takes is developing those tools to self-reflect and really think about what you're even thinking about.
Bro,
and
so
you can guess.
So, like I'm so into this topic right now just because it's so beneficial, and the skill translates to every facet of life, every career path,
everything,
every situation. Like all we do is deal with people, whether it's through a computer screen or in person, like from coaching to personal training to leading wellness events. Like I happen to deal with people a lot more, so I guess that's why it hits home. But like understanding things and looking at things from a different perspective, almost taking yourself outside of that situation, gives you an advantage on achieving.
It's like that bird's eye view, man. You got to be able to have that bird's eye view.
Yeah. Like I just gave a presentation to my job about the role emotional intelligence plays on overall health and well-being. And it was basically the conversation I just had with you, is being able to understand the areas of self-care you need. But like more importantly, like from a business standpoint, it's like, say I wanted to come to you today and figure out how we can, collaborate so that, it benefits AceGrind, but it benefits you as well. I have to take myself out of that, take myself out of just thinking about AceGrind and being like, dang, what can I bring to the table to help Steve grow? You feel me? Like, how can I present this conversation to him so that he knows his business is going to grow, but it's going to help my business grow as well, because the end goal is a successful collaboration. So if I think about that beforehand, then, I bring it to the table the right way, then we're going to achieve something. We're going to collaborate. We'll both be healthy. We'll both grow. But it's like, you got to understand, you got to look into another person's head before you communicate with them about something. So
exactly.
I love that topic just because it's so powerful.
Seriously. And bro, that's honestly what as I start this journey, basically, that's honestly been the most powerful and kind of fulfilling thing to me as well, because not a lot of people have that ability to kind of exit themselves from their situation and kind of see the wider view of everything.
Yeah. It's tough.
And dude, it's fulfilling when I'm starting to connect with other people like yourself and my friend Oliver that I mentioned before, and I have a few other guests on the list. But that's the most fulfilling part of it, just not being able to improve myself and use this as a learning process, but to also grow everybody around me and hopefully make this sort of a community sort of thing, because that's really the ultimate goal, just to really bring people up. There's nothing really out there that targets like kids coming up through college, that trying to develop that growth mindset and even developing that emotional intelligence, like you said. Facts. And to even have some sort of outlet and provide people with information from you to start that process for themselves. If that can have any impact at all, that would be incredible. And that's all I really want. You know what I mean?
And you're doing it. Like you're creating your own platform for growth. Like that's going back to another one of your questions is like, how do you grow? How do you create that? How do you empower others? Is like, if you want to do something and you don't have that opportunity to do it, create the platform for it. Like, you want a podcast, you make it. If I want to do if I want to be a public speaker, you're going to hear from me. You're going to hear from me in the next, 2 or 3 weeks, because I'm going to try to put on a speaking event, and whether I get a lot of people there or not, I'm going to grow from it. So I'm going to do well with it because I'm going to learn from it. But I guess the last part of that last question, I do want to talk about, I guess the most humbling part of emotional intelligence in my life just happened this last year. And this is going to be a part of my public speech, so you get to hear it first. But
Hell yeah.
so it was in November. When I left the personal training job and got my current job as a wellness coordinator, like I felt like I was in a much better mind state. I felt like I was balancing my time better. I was enjoying life a little bit more. I wasn't waking up as early, blah, blah, blah. So I think I'm taking care of myself, blah, blah, blah. And everything I preached on at my job, because I had to, host different events and give education on self-care, was about, emphasizing, you're retoxing your life. So it was just a normal work day, maybe like a Tuesday or something like that. And I had to go from the main campus to one of the branch campuses. And at the branch campus, I had to give a presentation on, managing stress, self-care. And one of the points that I harped on was sleep. Because like I told you, like napping was a big part of that for me in that previous year. So I just gave my example about how like, taking those car naps and finding that time to rest and relax in your day is very important. And that could be different for everyone. Mm-hmm. It all went well. Everything was great. Then I was driving back to main campus afterwards. And on my way back to main campus, I feel myself a little tired, but I'm like, I've been tired driving before. I'm just thinking about, I can't wait to get back to work. I'm about to get some food and chill, and then I'm gonna be off in a little bit. So I make it all the way back to campus, and like there's a winding back road that goes up to the parking lot, and I fell asleep at the wheel on campus. Like I made it all the way back, and I guess my body just relaxed. So I fell asleep, and I was going downhill, still asleep. I didn't wake up until my brand new car that I just bought like a month ago, went off road, hit a ditch, and then went like 10 more yards and slammed into a tree, bro.
Jesus Christ.
And like in that event alone, there's so many blessings, and I'm extremely thankful that I'm here today, because it could have been as simple as if my car would have veered to the right, I would have went off a cliff, and Lord knows how that could have ended. But basically I totaled my car on campus, just came back from giving a presentation on the importance of sleep in your life. Then the wellness coordinator, who just got this job here, a month before, falls asleep at the wheel on campus. So like, that was like mind blowing for me. I'm like, how do I even explain this? And bro, it was so, I wasn't texting. I wasn't anything. I was playing relaxing music. I've never fallen asleep at the wheel before. And I just dozed off. I was just out. And like, so I don't like, bro, that was just so humbling. Cause I'm like, even when you think you might be taking care of yourself on a level, you sometimes you can't ignore. I guess, my testimony is sometimes other factors come in to really wake you up. And that was like the biggest wake up call I've ever been through. Cause it was like, yeah, you think you're taking care of yourself, but you're not doing enough. You're not scheduling your rest time. You're not eating health. You know what I'm saying? Like there were so many different things that I just had to change, and my mindset changed after that. And I'm praying that, I'm doing well right now. This quarantine has been, even more time to self-reflect. But like, that was just the most humbling moment for me. Just because it's like, I'm the one who's supposed to tell you to do this. And then I fall asleep.
That's the fine line being in like this kind of industry.
Yeah.
Like you're so invested into other people and
motivating
them and inspiring other people to take their own health into effect. And sometimes your own self-care and your own physical well-being goes to the wayside sometimes. Yeah. And dude, that's the fine line, like where you gotta really make like yourself of importance, of utmost importance. Sometimes I say, like, some people tell me I'm selfish because majority of the time I kind of do think about myself first. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if I'm not thinking about myself first, how in my right mind will be able to help you to the best of my ability if I'm not treating myself right?
Exactly.
And do that, like, as I'm starting to try to get this podcast up and running, doing like other work in like the fitness industry, kind of like you're doing, and just trying to like improve my career. Sometimes burning out is the hardest thing, because you do have this growth mindset and you do have this ambition, but to factor in rest time, even social time, going out and just having a good time and getting your mind off things, it makes all the difference.
It's
Sometimes I'll go for a few days, man, and like I'll go 4, 5, 6 days straight and just like working,
mm,
and then I'm sitting there, and sometimes I'll literally sit back and I'm like, dude, what am I even doing right now? You kind of get lost in the work, right? Do you find that yourself?
all the time,
Yeah, you
all
get
the
lost in
time.
the work, and
Yeah.
having that time to kind of just go off,
Mm,
get your mind off things, go to the beach, go hang out with a few friends, dude. That's sometimes the most
yeah.
important thing. Even for you, just taking a nap, man.
Right. Bro, I've learned, I go through little cycles just kind of as an entrepreneur, as a business guy, as a creator. Like I know um everyone it's so natural. Like you go through stretches where like you're just unmotivated. Like,
Dude,
you know,
yeah, I'm
today,
sorry. I'm feeling that sometimes too. Sometimes.
bro, welcome it. It's okay. Like the way I get through those phases, I'm sure you have phases where you feel super motivated and you get a lot done too, right?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
So the way I look at it is like when those unmotivated days come, like take a day. Like your goal is try to not make it be, a week at a time, but like if I don't feel like doing something today, like if
Just
it's
don't.
physically possible, like yeah, emphasize that self-care. Understand like, all right, like today just sucks, but tomorrow I'm gonna be right back at it. But then when you're in those moods where like you're super creative, capitalize on them.
Yeah,
Like go get as much done as you can. I'm not saying this is the healthiest way to go about it either,
no.
but like for me, it's just real. It's like I know like if I don't feel like doing anything today, I'm not gonna force it.
Yeah,
But I
it's
know,
not gonna be my best work if I do force it.
yeah,
And
right,
bro,
right,
that's another huge thing that I've been realizing.
yeah,
Like sometimes just listening to your body and mind. Like sometimes you wake up, you're just not in it that
yeah,
day. And to take that like mental break off of it, go have a great workout, see some friends,
yeah,
even have a drink or two, like just
right.
unwind a little bit.
And I want to make sure the message is clear too for the people listening, but like, of course that's different when you have, a 9 to 5 job or you have a responsibility. You can't just, take off. Yes, you can take days off and stuff like that. But like the beauty of being a business owner is like, it's your passion, it's your life, it's who you are. You control how fast you get to your success. You control how slow you get to your success. So it's like, that's where you take advantage of that. Like you don't have to achieve all your goals in one day. Like if you take this day off, like it's okay, at least is what I'm saying. But like just having those skills of knowing how to deal with everyday stressors will help you when you don't have a choice to slow down or when, this paper is due right now or this week is just going to suck. Like it'll help you get through those moments. But that's the beauty of starting your own platform. You can do this whenever you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that brings me to another question I wanted to ask you. I don't know how much time you have left, but um, what really got you motivated to like self-employ yourself and to invest so much time with AceGrind that you have?
Um,
Like, do you like for me personally, man? The reason I'm starting this and trying to start so many other things myself is because I don't want to spend 10, 20 years of my life investing my time into somebody else's business, honestly.
100%.
Because I feel like I'm going to get 120% out of it if I invest that same amount of time into things that I'm passionate about. And just like you
Exactly.
said, if I do that, I have the time. I have the time to, if I want to take a break, I can. If I don't
Yeah.
necessarily, I have that creative spark, I can really go after it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
So
what? Yeah.
a
What
couple
else?
things. Yeah, I guess a couple things. Well, I've known since I was a kid that I was business oriented. Like it started from selling candy at church league basketball games to cutting every yard, shoveling. Like I was always a hustler. Like I knew that. I didn't know what business I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to do a business. So when I graduated and started it, I still wasn't like super motivated. I was hyped up because I had just graduated and wanted to do something, but the biggest eye-opening thing, and I'm going back to that first workout that I did and like the way we, captured it and displayed it. Once I saw the support that I got from that, it was like,
Power.
oh my gosh, maybe I don't know, maybe I'm cool, maybe I know what I'm doing. Like, bro, I ain't know what I was doing then. Like I did not know, but it's like once I saw people were listening or like I had an ability to make an impact, it was like, I got to keep this going. Like I had so much love that I got from that one workout video. I'll send it to you after this.
I'm
But
definitely interested in seeing that.
yo, but I'm like, dog, I had no idea that I had the ability to make that impact. So like, that's what really got me going. And then when my boy passed away, it was just like, I mean, obviously you've been through similar things. your motivation is just different. Like you doing things, it's coming from a different place. It's for
Seriously.
someone else. So it's like that's going to be with me forever. And then I guess lastly is just like, it's my passion. My 9 to 5 can help fund my passion. My passion can help fund my 9 to 5. Like this is who I'm gonna be for the rest of my life. Whether I ever get to the point where I can only work for myself or I still gotta have these other jobs, I'm gonna keep putting that time into this because my ultimate goal is if I can get to that point where I'm only working for AceGrind, boom, I love it. You know what I'm saying? But if I never get there, I had a ton of fun through that process and I felt like I was working towards something bigger and I impacted people along the way. So it's like there's no downside to it.
Dude, that's incredible, man. I got similar thoughts on just everywhere that I'm trying to go in life as well. And bro, like just for like the viewers out there, man, if you can give them a couple tips, like coming up, graduating high school, coming into college, after creating like this health and wellness company that you have and such a community you have, like what's the first step people can sort of take to like a happier and healthier future?
So I guess I'll answer that from two perspectives. Like, well, you want me to answer from like starting a company type of thing, or like
you can just start like coming up through high school and college and really finding yourself and how to get the most happiness. And
I'd say be comfortable knowing you don't know. Be comfortable knowing that like you're not in control. My biggest piece of advice, also going to be in my public speech whenever I get there, is like don't spend all your energy trying to be in control. Become a professional at adapting. You can control how you respond to things. I couldn't control that car accident that I got in. I couldn't control, whatever happened. Like you're not going to control it. Unexpected happens. I couldn't control this pandemic, but you can control how you react to those situations. And if you get like I love challenge now. I love having to think outside of the box to figure things out. Like, so basically just understanding that things aren't going to go as you plan, but you can plan
with uncomfortability.
Yeah. So you can plan how you respond to those things is the biggest life tip that I can give, especially coming up through, high school to everything else. And then think of like when you're looking at jobs and trying to figure out where you fit in and things like that, like don't try to have it figured out. Almost look at your first job or wherever you're at. Everything you do is practice. Like, who knows if you're going to stay at that job the rest of your life, but what you are going to do is understand if you like that job, understand if you don't like it, understand where you want to be. Like everything you go through is just practice. It's tuning up your resume. Nothing is that serious. Like as long as you're moving forward towards something, you're growing. So don't stress out too much about having things figured out. You're going to figure things out through your growth.
Yeah, man, what I've been thinking about from now until I'm about 30 years old, this whole time is basically just improving that like life resume, you know what I mean? Whether it is jobs or creating things on my own, like everything you do is going to give you experience, man.
Yeah.
And that's what like people really got to start taking away from life. And even this episode, man, like go out, try things, because from your 20s to 30s, man, it's just a learning process.
Yeah.
You learn what you really want to do. Life expectancy is getting older and older, man.
Yeah.
You think what you find out at 20, 25 years old, that first job you get, you think that's what you're going to be doing the rest of your life? No. The world is your oyster. Seriously.
Right.
You just have to go out and grab that oyster, man.
Facts. And in the first year, I realized everything I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
It's like, that's all it's about, man.
Yeah, man.
But yeah.
Dude, it's been amazing having you on. Thank you so much for doing this.
Hey, no problem at all. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I know we're gonna continue to work in the future. So,
of course, man.
Get it together.
Everybody, his info is going to be in the bio, in the description of the video. You can go to www.theacegrind.com to find more about the AceGrind Health and Wellness Company. And you can go follow him. Go follow him on Instagram right now. What is it at the AceGrind?
The _AceGrind 2.
2, right?
Yeah. The _AceGrind 2. But if you look up AceGrind, it should come up.
It should come up. Perfect.
Mhm.
Go look up on Instagram, AceGrind. Go follow my man. He's up and coming. He can teach you
Yes,
a lot
sir.
in this world, man. Seriously.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. And then hopefully should be by the end of this week or potentially early next week. All the new merchandise should be dropping too.
Perfect.
And you can find that on the website. We got summer clothes, tank tops, bucket hats, leggings, everything. So
get that new summer gear. You look fresh with the AceGrind on your chest.
You already know.
Because, hey, if you're looking to grind, go get it, right?
Yeah.
You're looking to grind. Hey, man, that's it. That's all I got. This was the second episode of Evolving Minds podcast.
All right, man. Thank you for having me.